If you're new around here, my name is Max and I'm trying to build the best TCG store in the UK. This week we've had a bunch of changes to the shop, and also I want to sit down and answer all your questions ahead of the store opening. So if you're a fan of the journey or this is your first time stopping by, make sure to hit the subscribe button and let's get into it. All right, welcome back to the shop. Again, as I say, as always, lots has changed. Everything looks different again. Sorry for the echo as well. It's gonna be quite echoey because there's not really a lot of things in here anymore. So lots of noise bouncing around everywhere. But the walls are probably what comes out the most at first glance. So a lot of the walls now have this very thin layer of plaster on. When they don't have plaster on, they've all been stud walled. So there's gonna be a load of plaster being put on this. Ignore the hole, we're still getting loads of electrics done at the moment, but yeah, it's starting to take more of a shape, which is really cool. There's just walls on the wall where they should be, which is really cool. The floor is getting done, hopefully in the next week, I think. Obviously the plaster has to go on the wall first. If we plaster after that, then we have to put loads of sheets down so we don't get loads of plaster on the floor and make a horrible mess of the brand new floor. So that's getting done now. So walking through to the back room, a lot more of the plaster's been done. This is a lot more like fresh plaster, so it looks a lot darker in here. I think it looks kind of cool. I mean, it's not the nicest looking walls ever, but it's kind of cool that there's a color on the wall and there's actually walls on the wall. But I think now that we've got everything set out, it's been a little bit easier to work out where we want to have things. So this room, the office / streaming room, we're going to do a separate video for this. We're actually going to plan out what we're going to do with the room. So I'm going to make a whole video on that. That's why it looks very untouched still. There's just a load of rubbish and nothing's really happened in there apart from this window, but I will be getting around to that. I should probably talk about where things are going to go, I think. So we've had a bit of a change of plan because I know last time in last video, we said that the original plan was to put the till over here. Now, the only problem with that is we found the till would actually come out quite far away from the wall. And the issue being when you come in from the door and you walk in here, you kind of immediately have to walk forward. And the problem with that is this back room just becomes not really that visible. You don't really know it's there. So we didn't really like that too much. Also, we were planning on having a card wall on this reverse wall. So when you did walk in, again, a little bit more of the room would be taken up by a card wall over here. So there just would have been a really tiny corridor, which was not really ideal. So we've now changed things a little bit. So I think the change that we're doing now, we're still going to keep the card wall up here. So we've got this entire wall is going to be cards and slabs in a really cool looking case. I'll flash some pictures up on screen of the kind of thing that I'm thinking of, but I think Collector's Card House-esque, I think would be quite cool. They have a super nice card wall, something like that with some LEDs in, with loads of little shells, I think would be so sick. And then this wall is now gonna be where we're gonna have all the sealed products. So me and Luke did have a conversation in the week. We were gonna have 2 card walls, and then we kind of thought, where's all of the sealed product gonna go? Because we're not just gonna be doing Pokemon, we're gonna have Pokemon, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh! What else is there? Lorcana, everything. We're gonna have everything in the shop. So we need a lot more space, especially for sealed product. Like some of those, even like the Pokemon sealed products, they can be like this big sometimes. And then we thought, where on earth are we gonna put them? So yeah, we're gonna put some shelving up here. I don't know how we're gonna do that, whether it's just gonna be one long shelf, probably not, probably individual shelves. And then maybe we can separate it by TCG or something like that. But shelves up here, cards here. And now the till area is actually gonna go where I'm standing here. Essentially the idea is we're gonna have a kind of glass cabinet here. We wanted to encourage people to queue on this side. The reason being, if we have the till going across here, and then down here, and we have people queuing over here, it's just gonna completely block this whole area, so we didn't wanna do that basically. So glass cabinet here, we're gonna have some of our really expensive stuff in this glass cabinet so people can look at that. And then across here is just gonna be a normal wooden cabinet with nothing to kind of look at. We're gonna handle all of our trades over here, and then underneath we can have like shelving for us so we can actually pull stuff out. On the back wall, we'll have slap walls, so we can have things like booster packs, our sealed booster boxes, our triple packs, things like that. Like the more expensive things and the things that we don't really want people to just kind of put in their pocket, because it does happen. And I know a lot of you in the comments have been telling me about security and things like that, so I'm thinking all right. But yeah, all of the packs and stuff up the wall there. We want to have an area over here as well to have like a little computer as well, so we can work out like last solds and give people like fair trade value and things like that. Oh yeah, and finally up here as well, just before I forget, we are also going to have graded comics, which I personally don't know a lot about, but I do actually really want to get into. The graded gallery in Birmingham have loads and loads of graded comics and they look so sick. I'll flash some pictures up on screen of that as well. But I think in this little area, naturally where this wall kind of comes out here, I want to have a graded comic stand similar to what they have in their shop. So that'd be really sick. So that's going to go there. And then as we come through here, this is going to be the play and chill out area. So what we're thinking here is we're gonna have like bench style tables across here. So we're gonna have benches that come all the way out here, benches that come up from here too. So probably 2 really long benches, loads of room for people to sit down and play the TCG, chat and stuff like that. And then I think behind the cameraman here, we are gonna have some sort of TV up here with loads of really old games consoles here. So we can have our N64, we've got a Super Nintendo, I think, a GameCube, things like that. I'm thinking in here maybe vending machines, I don't know, mini fridges, stuff like that. This is just the kind of chill out area where, yeah, we can play the TCG, you can do your tournaments here. Not just Pokemon as well. People keep asking me that in the comments, not just Pokemon, it's gonna be everything. So I think last of all, I'll try and not walk backwards so I don't fall through the fall over on whatever this is. The last thing to get done is the lighting. So we've still got these old spotlights in from the hairdressers that used to be here before. We are replacing these with some kind of square box lights, and we've also got some rail LED lightings as well. So the electrician's coming in for that, I think next week, so we should be able to have that done. Right, I've seen all of your questions on YouTube and there are so many to go through. So I wanted to sit down today and just go through all the questions and answer them as honestly as I could, because we're right around the corner from the shop opening and I want to make sure all of you know exactly what's going on. Where is the shop? The shop is in Rugby, Warwickshire, specifically on Regent Street. You can come by, wave through the window if we're in. We're definitely not open yet by any means, but we're getting there. We should open very soon. Sick video, thank you very much. The journey is inspiring and I'm from Rugby, literally around the corner. Mad that I've not heard about it yet. Any updates on when the shop will open? So many people, right, it's actually weirding me out a little bit. There's so many people when we say on Whatnot or on YouTube, for example, they're like, I'm from Rugby, or I went to school in Rugby. I'm like, I didn't even know that Rugby existed 3 or 4 months ago. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. I can't wait to open the doors and see everyone that's been commenting on the YouTube saying that they're coming down to visit, everyone from Whatnot, just start putting some faces to names and actually turn this place into the store that we want to turn it into. We're still aiming for the end of September. That's the date that I tell everybody that asks me, but if I'm really honest, we're pushing our luck saying that it's end of September. It's more likely going to be start of October, about 4, 5, 6 weeks from now. That's kind of where we're aiming to open. We should have a much clearer idea of the opening date very soon. As soon as I know an open date, you guys are going to know about it. I promise you. I will be telling you all about the open date. We're going to be planning loads of opening weekend stuff. Not quite sure what that is yet, to be honest. If you guys want to let me know the kind of stuff you want to see here on opening weekend, let me know down in the comments. I would love to set everything up that I can. But yeah, very soon. And as soon as I know, I will let you know. My one question is, why did you choose a shop so far away from where you live? There must have been a premise closer to you so you didn't have to move to a new home. So one of the main reasons was the Graded Gallery is in Birmingham. We are partnering with them, so we wanted to be reasonably close to Birmingham. Second reason is my business partner, Luke, at the time lived in Coventry, so we wanted to make it close to there. Rugby is very close to Birmingham and Coventry. And thirdly, I used to live in Brighton. Now, as much as I love Brighton and that area, it's so expensive down there, and buying shop premises down in Brighton just wasn't something that we could afford on our own. It's definitely something that I want to do in the future. I don't want to be up here all my life. As much as I actually really like rugby, I love my mates, I love my family. I want to be back down in Brighton eventually. So yeah, we will hopefully one day have a shop down in Brighton. I guess we've got to see how well this one does first, but yeah, it's on the mind. What makes a grown man decide it's a good idea to get a dangling cross earring? Bro, it's a sword, bro. Come on. Pokey Alp TCG. Just for the people, please can you explain the difference between Grail Gallery and the Graded Gallery? Of course I can. So Grail Gallery is mine and my friend Luke's business. We started the business back in November, right at the start of our journey. Basically, mainly just doing live streaming, but the ultimate goal was to eventually open a shop. That's when we were approached by the Graded Gallery, who we had a partnership in the works with
already anyway, but we're now opening up a franchise store with the Graded Gallery. So that's where the link is there. We do, I guess, unfortunately have very similar names, but Grail Gallery is its own thing. Graded Gallery is going to be the physical store where we're opening up in Rugby. There's also one in Birmingham, and there's also going to be one in Walsall as well. So yeah, we're not the only ones, but the Graded Gallery Rugby and Grail Gallery, two separate things owned by me and Luke, and then me and Luke and the Graded Gallery. So I hope that clears that up. Would love to know how the YouTube channel has helped you and your company grow, and would like to know what your opinion is about channels like yours that film and document the process of doing or building something. That's a really nice question. So the YouTube channel has 1,000,000% helped bring customers in for my business. We see it over on Whatnot all the time, whether it's me or Luke going live. We have people joining the Whatnot all the time, like, when's the next video coming out? Or, oh, I've come from the YouTube. I've come from here. Organic social media is always going to be one of the most powerful drivers for business, because you've got to think, if you were actually paying to get that many people into your business, you'd be paying thousands of pounds to get eyes on a video, for example. But we're in a very lucky position where we get to document the journey, bring you guys along with us, and ultimately we get to have some of you as customers, which is just so cool. I also think it kind of works hand in hand. There's a lot of people where, like, what we're doing with the shop is, it's their dream too. So they kind of get to live, I guess, vicariously through what we're doing. I guess that's why the videos are entertaining. They're personally some of my favorite types of videos to watch on YouTube, which is why I wanted to document the process in the first place, really. I've always loved YouTube. I've always loved making videos, but I've never really had much to make videos about. So when we did start Grail Gallery, I definitely knew that was something I wanted to do. And I hoped that the videos would start growing so that we would ultimately have some form of marketing in a way, but deep down, I did just want to make videos in the first place. So I would always recommend starting a YouTube out of passion rather than starting it with the sole purpose of marketing. But I would be lying to you if I told you that it wasn't a massive help for us now in bringing in new people to our businesses and stuff like that. So yes, make content, always make content. It's the best thing in the world. It's honestly changed my entire life. I feel like it'd be rude to not plug my Whatnot right now. So if you guys did want to join us on some of our live streams, you can scan a QR code, which will be up here somewhere. It does get you £10 off on your first purchase with Whatnot. You don't have to spend that with me. I hope you spend that with me, but you can spend it anywhere. Just go get yourself some free stuff and go check out Whatnot. It is awesome and I love it. Firstly, in the future, how can I start without a lot of money to start with? Secondly, what was the hardest part in your journey and what advice would you give to others to prevent this? The best advice I can give you, which sounds so cliche, is just start in any capacity you can. You will learn so much more through doing and failing than you will learning from any YouTube video that you can find. However, if you did want a kind of crash course on where I would start, I would recommend watching my video on my channel. It's called How to Start a Pokemon Business. There's also 5 mistakes that I made making my Pokemon business. They're 2 videos that I just talk about strictly the business stuff, how I would do things, how I would do things differently. So I feel like I answer your question with both of those videos. So I would recommend going to check those out. If you have absolutely zero money, you might need to sell off maybe some of your personal collection or some of the items around your house that you don't need. That's pretty much all you need to get started. I mean, our first stream cost us about 300 quid to set up. And that was literally just from selling personal collection and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of people that comment on my videos like, you didn't start from zero, you had cards in the first place. Like, go and do Uber delivery driving, go and get a paper round, do something. Like, my something was selling the cards that I already had. And if I'm honest, if you don't have cards already, why are you starting a Pokemon card business? It doesn't make any sense. I can't wrap my head around that. It's weird to me. Who do you watch on YouTube for Pokemon content, being a Pokemon content creator yourself? I absolutely love this question. There's so many great people to choose from. The list would go on for so long, so please don't hate me if I don't say you, but I'm gonna say some of my favorites. Definitely check out KB. He has the best Japan content on the platform. He is best in class in Japan content. Just go watch it. The videos are so good. He's actually such a nice guy as well. It would be criminal of me not to mention him here. Fab as well, similarly to KB, does a lot of Japan content when he does go out there. Also does a lot of vending content. Another really great guy in the space. Just go check him out. His videos are great. I feel like he's very underrated. Just go check him out. The videos are awesome. Not entirely Pokemon related, but kind of. He's making his own game store in America, and I already shouted him out in my last video, so I probably need to stop going on about him. But Phoenix Resale, it's some of my favorite content on YouTube, mainly because I feel like his content is kind of mirroring what I'm doing, and it's nice watching like the parallel of what I'm doing, if that makes sense. So his content is all about opening up his game store in America, and I can't wait to go visit. It'd be awesome to go visit him. So yeah, go check that out. It's another awesome YouTuber opening up his very own store, and yeah, his videos are fantastic. Go watch them. If the bottom falls out of the market, what is your exit strategy, or will you exit at all? Do you think you can make a physical store profitable in a bear market? I do understand where you're coming from, and I think right now there is this kind of feeling that the Pokemon market is this massive bubble is about to burst, and you'd be right in thinking that. But this is kind of where the hobby gets a little bit less interesting for me. I've been collecting cards, whether they're up, down, sideways, it doesn't matter to me. I understand that running a business, you kind of want the market to be in an uptrend. Obviously, you make more money, but thinking about it, when we got started, the market wasn't really in any uptrend at all. It was kind of just existing. It was Scarlet and Violet. The start of Scarlet and Violet, people didn't even really like the sets that much. As long as there's people that want to buy Pokemon cards in any capacity, you can always make some sort of money in the space. People need to buy products. You have the products, you sell them the products. You don't need to be making a ridiculous margin on things, absolutely skyrocketing on eBay, for example, to make money in this space. I think this is a hobby built around people that love Pokemon, and if you start treating it like a stock market, like having bull markets and bear markets, I feel like that's when it kind of just gets boring to me. I don't really like it. It's been around for nearly 30 years. I just don't see it going anywhere. It's literally the biggest media franchise to ever exist. So bottom line is, I don't think this business works for me because we're in an uptrend. I think it definitely is nice that there is an uptrend, but I still see this business making money whether it's going up, down, sideways, any direction. It might even be more successful when the market does take a little bit of a tumble and people start leaving the hobby as sellers. There might just be less competition, for example. That's another angle that we can look at it. But I'm not worried is the answer to that question. Favorite Pokemon card of all time? This. Not really business related, which is absolutely fine, by the way. This is a everything Pokemon channel. Like, I love the hobby just as much as I love the business side of it. Don't worry about that. What are your top 3 favorite Pokemon? I've realized something recently, right, that my favorite Pokemon as a kid tend to be the ones that I couldn't work out how to get. So it starts off with Cyndaquil. When I was about 4 or 5, my first game that I ever played was Pokemon Yellow. And at that point, I was only 4 or 5. I didn't know there was different generations of Pokemon. That must have been when Pokemon Gold and Silver was coming out or something like that. I was at the park and I saw this kid on his Game Boy Color, and he was playing, I guess, Gold or Silver or something like that. And he had a Cyndaquil, and I remember seeing it and just thinking, like, what is that? How do I get it? And I'm pretty sure I then went back on my Pokemon Yellow cartridge and tried to get a Cyndaquil for ages. So yeah, you probably know how that turned out. Then the next is Salamence. So in Ruby, I had Pokemon Ruby when I was younger. I could not for the life of me work out how to get Salamence. And this was way before I had access to Google, so I just never got it until I was older. And finally, Darkrai. So I used to absolutely love Pokemon Diamond when it came out on my DS. And I remember Darkrai being this Pokemon that I really wanted. I didn't have access to the events, and I didn't really know what the events were, if I'm completely honest. So that's where I got myself Action Replay, walking through all the walls, getting myself the Darkrai. That was good though. How did you get into the Pokemon shop / collector's business? What made you want to start selling, and which part did you realize it was worth going all out for it? I have honestly loved Pokemon since I was a kid, and whilst I've tried other businesses and other jobs even, I mean, I left a really nice job to come and do this full time. This is what felt right for me. I get to do something that I genuinely love being a part of day in, day out, and that's all you can really ask for. So yeah, it just felt really natural to just try and put as much time into this as possible. In terms of what made me feel like it was the right time to pursue this full time, I would honestly say when this YouTube channel started growing. I'm so lucky to have you guys in my corner with the shop. It just fills me with confidence to actually be able to open the shop, be able to pursue this full time. I can't thank you enough. It is honestly, I've said it already, it has changed my whole life. It is amazing. Thank you. Have you got a vault room? If you're going to be vlogging a shop and its contents on such a public forum, you need one. Enjoying watching the journey, looking great. Thank you very much. Look, I've seen all of the comments about security. It's for obvious reasons. I'm not going to show you guys absolutely everything in terms of security. I want to be as transparent as I can in the shop about money, about stock, about everything that we're doing, but security is unfortunately something that someone can take advantage of. So we are putting security measures in place. I just sadly can't tell you every single detail about it because I feel like that kind of welcomes vulnerabilities for us, and I don't want to do that because, again, as you said in your comment, public forum, and there is unfortunately some bad people out there. So yeah, I will tell you guys as much as I can, but thank you for looking out for me. We are putting the measures in place where we can, so we're doing that. Would you say streaming on Whatnot is the best way to start a Pokemon business? There is no perfect answer to this question. I think you just have to find what works for you. Whatnot obviously helped our business. That is where we make the bulk of our money. It's still where we make the bulk of our money now, but it's very easy to think that Whatnot is an easy place to sell, because it absolutely is not. It takes time to build up as a seller. I think the statistic when I joined is it takes on average 3 months to become profitable on the platform. So if you are a new seller, that can be so disheartening, just sitting there and not really making any money for 3 months. That is a long time. But saying that, when you do work hard on it and you start putting the hours in and Whatnot, it can be a fantastic platform to sell on. But then again, so can eBay, so can selling on your own website, so can selling in a physical store, so can trading at events. It is all completely down to how you want to start. Some people love vending, some people hate vending. It's the exact same for Whatnot. Some people absolutely love streaming. I know people that can make loads of money when they do stream, but they hate doing it, so they just don't do it. Again, if you are thinking of selling on Whatnot, Whatnot have kindly put together a little seller's package for you. So if you sign up as a seller using my link, you get £150 matched sales. So if you do your £150 as a seller, they will give you £150 extra, which is really cool. So yeah, sign up using the link in the description for that one. Was it difficult to find a supplier for English and Japanese products? Yes, extremely. There is no easy route to finding a perfect supplier. Again, it's going to be trial and error, especially with Japanese products. Right now, Pokemon products are what everyone wants to get their hands on, so that's why it's so hard to find. Probably the best advice I can give you is just make as many connections as you can. I'm very lucky now that I know quite a lot of people. If I need to get hold of some Pokemon product, I can normally ask people and find it. Even if it's not at a fantastic price, I will find it at probably a better price than most people. And that is literally just from knowing more people. But yeah, honestly, just go out there, speak to people, talk to vendors at card shows, talk to people buying at card shows, make good connections. That's the best advice I can give you. Any tips on editing and what camera do you use? Editing is a really tough thing to teach. I learned editing just honestly through having an interest for it. So you get a feel for it. I don't know how to explain it. Like editing, when you're putting a video together, you kind of naturally put in cuts where you feel like it makes sense. You put clips where you feel like it makes sense. I personally think it's just quite a hard thing to teach, but maybe that's just because I was never taught. I kind of taught myself how to do it, but honestly, I think that's just how you do it. You just got to pick up the editing software, start editing videos, find things that you like that other people have done and replicate them and like try and make them yourself. That's a really good way, kind of reverse engineer a style and then try and make your own style, if that makes sense. Are you only trying to appeal to collectors, or is the shop for players as well? Definitely is going to be for players as well. I mean, this whole room that I'm in now is actually going to be where we set up tables for people playing the TCG. I've actually been trying to learn the TCG as well. I went down for a barbecue with my family up in Nottingham, and my little nephew Herbie was teaching me how to play. I won the first game and then got pretty much destroyed the other 2 times. So got a lot to learn, unless I just have an absolute child prodigy of a nephew. Not putting it past him at all. We want to be an official Pokemon tournament partner and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to have that. It's also not just going to be Pokemon as well. We're going to have every TCG that you can think of here that people like. Again, I really need to brush up on other TCGs. Pokemon is my bread and butter. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid. I heard Yu-Gi-Oh's not that popular right now, but we're gonna have some of it. Where's there? One Piece? One Piece, I love the cards. I've not watched any One Piece. I don't know who any of the characters are, but the cards are absolutely amazing. So yeah, we're going to get One Piece in for sure. And on the other ones as well. I know we got like Magic, we got Lorcana. Don't worry, everything is going to be covered in the store, I promise. How do you advertise outside of YouTube? In all honesty, we don't really. The YouTube kind of does quite a lot of the legwork for us, to the point where we just don't really need to advertise right now. It might be something that we do in the future, especially with the shop opening. We do want to get people that haven't seen the YouTube obviously into the shop. So we'll probably do some kind of physical marketing for that, maybe like flyers, posters, things like that. I don't know. So yeah, the YouTube has been a little bit of a cheat code in terms of marketing. But again, I stress, if you are in the space, make content, like any kind of content. It doesn't even have to be YouTube. Although YouTube is the best, TikTok, Instagram, just make something. And I believe that is all of the questions. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I should have a lot more updates coming soon for you in terms of the ceiling getting the flooring done, getting everything else done as well. I will, of course, update you as soon as I know and as quick as I can. We're nearly there. It's exciting times for Grail Gallery, it's exciting times for Graded Gallery. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like this content, please consider subscribing. It helps me out so much. I want to get to 50K. I know I'm not even close to 50K. Get this guy to 50K, please. I'm begging you guys, right? I'll catch you in the next one.